Hi, good day. This video will help you how to unpack most essential learning competencies because nowadays most of us or most of the teachers can understand or doesn't know how to do this unpacking. So what are you waiting for? Stay tuned and listen and watch our video. Welcome. Like what I've said earlier, we are going to know how to unpack. But before that, what is unpacking of standards? It says that unpacking is a technique teachers can use to make sense of standards and then create focused learning targets to make them actionable. This process, also called deconstructing or unwrapping standards, fosters a collaborative dialogue that supports growth and effectiveness. But the question is, why do we need to unpack? First, we need to unpack because it will serve as our guide in our lesson planning. Two, to make the learning targets easier to achieve for students. So stay tuned and I will explain further how to unpack most essential learning competencies. So, what are the steps in unpacking the learning competencies? First, of course, you need to get your learning competency from MELC. Kailangan po natin kumuha ng ating learning competency na manggagaling po sa ating MELC. For example, ito po, nakakuha na po ako. Yung example ko po na competency na nanggaling po sa MELC ay analyze literature as a means of valuing other people. Listen well, because this is very crucial. I am now going to explain step by step on how to unpack learning competency. The first step is you need to identify the target skills and the prerequisite skills. Okay, kanina po, nakakuha na po tayo ng learning competency natin sa MELC, which is analyze literature as a means of valuing other people. So sabi doon, we need to identify the target skills. Kapag sinabi po nating skills, meaning to say ito ay isang verb o yung ginagawa. Dito po ba sa ating competency, analyze literature as a means of valuing other people. Alin po ba dyan yung skills natin o yung skill natin? Our skill is none other than the word analyze. So, analyze po ang ating target skill dito sa ating competency. Ayan, kung kanina po, sa step 1, in-identify po natin yung skill dun sa learning competency po natin, which is yung analyze. Sa step 2 naman po, we are going to identify the content and the prerequisite content. So, ano po ba yung content? Ang content po ay yung tinatawag nating noun. Kung kanina yung skill ay yung verb, ngayon naman po yung content, siya yung tinatawag nating noun. So, ano ba ang noun dito sa ating learning competency? analyze literature as a means of valuing other people. Ang noun po natin dyan ay walang iba kundi yung word po na literature. Analyze literature as a means of valuing other people. So, the content there ay yung literature po. At yung prerequisite content naman po natin is yung valuing and people. So, mag-focus po muna tayo dun sa ating content, which is yung literature. Ayan. Dito naman po, ang makikita ninyo ay yung tinatawag po nating Bloom's Taxonomy. Sa Bloom's Taxonomy po, makikita po natin yung different skills o yung different verb na tinatawag natin. So, dito po, meron po tayong anim. Ang unang-una po ay yung remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. So, kung kanina po sa step 1, sabi doon, we need to identify first the skill. At yung skill po natin doon sa ating learning competency na nakuha is yung analyze the literature. Tama po ba? So, the word analyze ay kung makikita po natin sa Bloom's Taxonomy ay nasa pang-apat. Remember, understand, apply, and analyze. So, pang-apat po. So, bago tayo makarating sa analyze, kailangan po muna nating dumaan o ipagdaanan yung remember, understand, apply, and analyze. Nakuha po, hanggang dun po tayo kasi our learning competency po ay yung analyze the literature. Kasi po, kaya kailangan po natin pagdaanan muna yung remember, understand, and apply because that is the prerequisite of the word analyze or yung ating skill na analyze. Kaya we need na pagdaanan po yun because that is the prerequisite skills po ng ating learning competency. So, meaning, ito yung mga dapat munang matutunan ng mga bata bago sila umabot doon sa word na analyze. Kailangan muna nilang pagdaanan yung remember, understand, and apply before makapunta dun sa word na analyze. So, I hope that was clear. So, ayan po, yung tatlong to, kailangan po natin silang gawan ng ating learning objective. Ayan po yung gagawan natin. Ayan po yung i-unpack natin. Kung mapapansin po ninyo, yung word na remember, understand, apply, and analyze, those are the what we call general objectives. So, general po sila. So, in doing or in making us objective, we need to be specific. At kung makikita din po ninyo, yung mga specific objective po natin ay nasa, ano lang po nila, hilera nila, nasa kabila. So, yung remember po, we can use the word define, duplicate, list, memorize, repeat, and state. At doon naman po sa understand, we can use the word classify, describe, discuss, explain, identify, locate, recognize, report, select, and translate. So those are specific po ha. And in the word apply naman po, we can use the words execute, implement, solve, use, demonstrate, interpret, operate, schedule, and sketch. And in the word analyze, we can use the word differentiate, organize, relate, compare, contrast, distinguish, examine, experiment, question, and test. I hope that was clear, and now let's start doing our learning objectives. Ayan, in learning objectives po, in making a learning objectives, di ba sabi ko po kanina, kailangan muna natin pagdaanan yung mga prerequisites. So, mauuna po tayo sa word na remember. And sa remember, we have the specific verb which are define, list, duplicate, memorize, repeat, and state. At ito po yung ginamit ko for in making learning objective. Ginamit ko po yung word na list. So, ito po siya. List down the kinds of literature. That is my first learning objective. At yung pangalawa po natin sa Bloom's taxonomy po natin is the word understand. And in the word understand, we have the words classify, describe, discuss, explain, identify, locate, recognize, report, select, and translate. At yung napili ko po na maging aking skill ay yung classify. So this is my learning objective na pangalawa. Classify the kinds of literature. Literature because that is our content. Okay po? And that is the noun. At dahil alam na ng mga bata kung paano tayo mag-remember, nalilista na nila yung mga kinds of literature and also they know how to understand because they can now classify the kinds of literature, we are now going to proceed to apply. And in apply, we have the words execute, element, solve, use, demonstrate, interpret, operate, schedule, and sketch. And I use the word interpret. They're going to interpret the message of the poem. And now the students already know how to apply their lesson. They already know how to interpret the message of the poem. We are now going to proceed sa ating last na learning objective, which is the analyze. And under analyze, we have the words differentiate, organize, relate, compare, contrast, distinguish, examine, experiment, question, and test. And I choose the word differentiate. And the learning objective is differentiate short story from other stories. And this will be the last learning objective that we will have. And this is it. This is our learning objectives. The first one now we created is list down the kinds of literature. That is remember. And the second one is classify the kinds of literature, which is understand. And the third one is the interpret the message of the poem under apply. And the last one is the differentiate short story from other stories under analyze. So, from the help of unpacking the most essential learning competencies, we already created these for learning objectives, and that is on how to unpack most essential learning competencies. And that's it. I hope you learned something from this video. And for example, you're going to encounter different learning objective or learning competency from MELC. For example, your most essential learning competency is understand the importance of noun. And the skill there is understand, of course. You are just going to, pagdadaanan nyo lang po is yung remember. Remember lang and then understand. Tapos sa tapat ng remember, pipili lang po kayo dun ng specific verb na gagamitin. And then sa understand, pipili lang din po kayo ng specific verb na gagamitin natin. And what if kung yung learning competency mo naman ay evaluate. Evaluate the importance of ganyan. So, sa evaluate, pagdadaanan mo rin yung mga prerequisite natin, which are remember, understand, apply, analyze, and evaluate. Mas marami. So, dun po, magkakaroon kayo ng 5 learning objectives. Kasi po, ang ating learning competency ay evaluate, and that is our skill. Nakuha? So, always remember lang po na you are just going to get the most essential learning competency and apply the first step, which is the identify the skill in the learning competency, and the second one is you're going to identify the content. So, yun lang po. And then, there you have it. Gawin nyo lang po yung process na ginawa natin ngayon and you will have your most essential learning competency and your learning objectives. I hope you learned something. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening also. God bless. Bye.